Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
It's incredible. It's incredible that we all sat there, watched the final minutes tick, and we all knew that they were going to lose. Even when they were up 1 at 90-89, even when they were up 2 at 94-92, with just about a minute and 30 left in the game, we all knew that the 76ers were not going to be able to execute offensively late in the game, and that is exactly how it played out. It's crazy that as the game is being played, I'm hanging out with a couple of my buddies watching, and I go, fellas, you know this isn't going to end well. You know down the stretch it's going to be hideous, it's going to be sloppy, there's going to be turnovers, they're going to miss shots, and that's literally to a T what happened in this game. The Boston Celtics ended on a 10-0 run. It explains it right there. I don't even know how the Sixers were in play. The fact that they shot under 30% from the field as a team, the fact that they shot 23% from three as a squad, they were lucky to get to the charity stripe so much they knocked down 29 of 34 free throws. That kept them alive, but holy hell is Tobias Harris bad. Will you hit a three-pointer? What is Al Horford doing out there? 1 for 5 in his 30-plus minutes? It's an embarrassment. It really is. It's such a disgrace that we need to continue and watch that play out there on the floor. And you know what, Toby? You worked hard on the O-glass. You grabbed 8 boards, and it's not like the team didn't compete. The Sixers competed in this game. But are we supposed to be satisfied with competing at this point? Is that truly where we are? Oh, well, they got blown out in game 2. At least they gave it all they had. At least they worked their asses off. No way. I can't be satisfied with just work ethic. Give me more than just work ethic. Please, knock down a damn shot. And you see this roster, and you see it's flawed. Hey, Furkan Korkmaz lovers out there who ripped me every single time he had a big game in the regular season. And I would come back and go, wait for the playoffs. Just wait for the playoffs. He's not good enough in the playoffs. He won't be able to get an inch of separation in the playoffs. He stinks. This entire team stinks. Hey, Alec Burks, I thought he was supposed to be the savior. Everyone told me, oh, look, come on, Alec Burks, he's got to be out there more. He stinks. He's just a bench player. He stinks. He's not the savior. Everyone's fascinated with him because he has the skill set that is 2020 basketball. But here's the thing. He's not very good at it. He's just a bench player who some nights will be okay and some nights will be bad. But we are so fascinated with Alec Burks because he can dribble the basketball and shoot the basketball, and nobody else can do it on this team. So it's, oh, look, Alec Burks, he can do it. He should be playing all these minutes. He stinks, just like the rest of this team. Here's the stretch at the end. Embiid, this is when the score is 94-92 with 1:41 to go. Embiid posting up, tries to make a pass all the way to the opposite corner. It gets stolen, and then the Celtics go the other way. Shake Milton with an awful foul, which leads to an and one. Embiid gets blocked by Tatum, and it was definitely a block, in my opinion. I know Embiid was trying to argue that it wasn't a block, and he got fouled. No, to me, it was a block. Josh Richardson fouls Tatum on the other side, which was a brutal foul. And then Kemba Walker on Al Horford late in this game pretty much put him on ice skates, hit the jump shot that he needed to hit, the mid-range jumper, and that essentially was the dagger. I know that the Celtics scored again later because I believe it was Marcus Smart went to the rim hard, and they had the foul, the Sixers did, and they were able to get some more points from there. But ultimately, coming down the stretch, a minute or two left in the game, nobody felt confident that this team was going to be able to do anything. They haven't done it once this season. It's the same story, and it played out the same exact way that it always does. Seriously, it's wild. It's mind-blowing that they were even in this game with the way that they shot the basketball. That was one of the worst performances I've ever seen when it came to shooting a basketball in the NBA that I have ever seen. You know, I see games like that when I'm driving around and seeing the local park and watching 5 random guys try to play basketball who clearly never dribbled before in their lives. I can get seeing bad production out of that type of basketball game. But here, you're telling me you shot under 30% as a team? I mean, come on. That's hard to do. You need to be really bad to do that. And clearly, with Tobias, and look, Josh Richardson was on Tatum, and he logged a lot of minutes, and I thought he did a decent job defending Tatum because it wasn't as if Tatum had some explosive night. Now, he did get into foul trouble, so that did limit him when it came to certain minutes, but Jayson Tatum finished 6 for 19, 2 for 9 from 3. Thibault was on him for a handful of minutes. Josh Richardson was able to put some pressure on him as well. But you look at these field goal attempts by all of these players, and the field goal attempts, it's just so heavy, and they're not making enough of the shots. Joel Embiid, he went to the charity stripe 16 times. All right, he gave everything he had out there. His field goal percentage wasn't very strong either, but without Joel Embiid, this team didn't stand a damn chance. And he also had some foul trouble as well, which limited him in the third quarter. A lot of guys in foul trouble there, and important for both teams. And sometimes you wonder, hey, why don't we let them play a little bit, huh? Please, why don't we let them play? We're here to watch the players out there run up and down the floor. We're not here to see the zebras on the side blow the damn whistle. Let them play. This episode is sponsored, by the way, by Orbit Energy and Power. And with over 20 years of solar experience, they are home to your solar experts. They provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, along with the solar energy. Don't forget about tree removals, emergency services, and plenty more. The information is in the description. Oh, it was incredible. It really was. I will say, as a team, they played better pick and roll defense. We've had the problems of them trying to fight over screens. The Sixers were trying to fight over screens out by the three-point line while Joel Embiid was sagging so much off. That allowed the Boston Celtics to constantly get to where they wanted to on the floor and pop a three-pointer or pop a mid-range game. They were consistently doing it. I thought the Sixers did a better job with the defense. Now, it wasn't something where, they really found the way to stop the Celtics. They really delivered a game plan defensively that shut them down to some insane degree. But it was definitely better as Joel Embiid was up. They were up to the actual pick and roll more, which clearly benefited the 76ers way more than what you saw earlier in the first 2 games in this series. You saw Brett Brown, by the way, push a chair over in frustration when they were leaving the court. Well, what are you thinking, Brett? I mean, please tell me. Are you frustrated that the team's not playing well? And this is what it's been since we started. Well, not since we started, because remember that unbelievable 5-0 stretch that they started the season off on. So it wasn't from the get-go, but it was majority of this season. And once again, for those not Brett Brown haters, your Brett Brown haters can have all the fun that you like. The Ben Simmons haters, how do you not see the difference when he's out there when it comes to defense? Please, how do you not see the difference? Al Horford had 6 points tonight. Is this for real? My man had 6 points tonight. I always look at him and I go, dude, you're a veteran in this league. You've been around forever. How are you not pissed off at yourself? How do you not have pride? You are going up against your former team where you had a lot of success, where you have a lot of teammates, former teammates, out competing against you. How do you not have pride to give better effort than 1 for 5 and 6 points in the basketball game? This is coming off of his 4-point performance where he grabbed 2 rebounds. Please tell me you are truly disgusted with yourself every time you look in the mirror, because it's not good enough. It's not good enough, and you are better than this, all right? You are better than this. How is this what you are consistently giving this basketball team? Are you that checked out? Are you that out of the game? Are you that upset with yourself when it comes to signing here and signing with this roster that you can't give us more than that? And I will say, when I heard the news that Al Horford was starting, I was a bit surprised, and I'm basing that off of how he played in Game 1. In Game 1, he wasn't very strong. In Game 2, he wasn't very strong coming off of the bench either. But Matisse Thybulle wasn't working in Game 2, so I just thought maybe you try something else. Maybe you try a different philosophy. At this point, what do you have to lose? You don't really have much out of Al Horford, so it doesn't make sense. Do you go crazy as hell and throw a Mike Scott in there? Do you throw an Alec Burks in there? Do you go with a whole different philosophy because you know Matisse didn't work starting in the rotation, and you know Al Horford didn't work either? I'm not claiming that Burks would have worked and Mike Scott would have worked either, honestly, because I don't think both of them would have worked at all. But you know Al Horford doesn't. You don't have answers, right? We've been through this many times. It's not like there's an answer on this team and Brett's deciding not to utilize it. There is no fix. There is no way that you can figure this out with the roster they have. When your guys that you pay a lot of money to are not knocking down shots, they are not finding ways to score, they are missing layups, they are missing open shots, they're being ridiculous when it comes to the basketball and making poor decisions, how are you supposed to win basketball games? And I loved Joel Embiid's effort in this one. Super aggressive. Of course, he finished with 30 points, and he got to the charity stripe a bunch of times, being super aggressive and being the guy that this team needed. And without him, they wouldn't have even been close. There was 0% chance without Joel Embiid. But I will say there is a common theme with Joel Embiid, and I'm looking more big picture, more so than this individual game itself. When it comes down to late game decisions and when it comes down to late moments for Embiid, doesn't it seem like he doesn't really get the job done? There's a problem here. There's a turnover there. There's a double team coming at him. He can't get the shot off. Like, it always seems like late with Joel Embiid, he's not able to deliver that big shot. While you've seen Jayson Tatum do that, while you've seen Kemba Walker make big shots throughout his career, I don't really know off the top of my head a moment where I'm like, you know what? There was this time, Joel Embiid, late fourth quarter, he just dominated, made the big shots against a team that really mattered in a moment that mattered. And that's a problem because you're going to need these players to step up and make those type of plays. That pass to the opposite corner, that's abysmal. That can't happen. That block by Jayson Tatum, and it was a block. It's not really a good choice by him taking on that specific situation. And I guess here's the argument. Well, what's he supposed to do in that scenario? Try and give it to one of his teammates who couldn't make a damn bucket all night long? And okay, but still, I mean, this is why I'm saying big picture. I feel like Joel Embiid hasn't really had that big time moment for this city and organization where in a big game, it's late fourth quarter, the Sixers really need a bucket. He does what he needs to do. He gives a little shimmy and bang, he finds a way to get the ball in the basket, or he gets fouled and he makes insanely clutch free throws. Like those moments in the big time moments hasn't really happened with Joel Embiid yet, and that is something that needs to happen. That's something that these young players that I keep saying are going to be the core of this team, which is Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, really, and sadly for right now, you're stuck with the horrendous Tobias Harris and the horrendous Al Horford, and hopefully that changes throughout the offseason. But you need those moments. And I would like to say that you learn from the bad moments, like you'll learn from this. But isn't it just something we've seen now forever? Isn't it almost inevitable that the next time this happens, where it's a close game, let's say it's a 2-point game in Game 4, 1:40 left, and Joel Embiid has the ball in the post. Is he going to do the same thing again? Is he going to mess up? Is he going to turn the ball over? Is he going to force something? Is he going to try and make a ridiculous pass that he shouldn't? Or is he going to back his ass up in the post and knock down the shot? The problem is, here comes 3 Celtics, double teaming. What are you going to do, Embiid? And for real, I'm not going to sit here to clarify. I'm not going to sit here and roast Joel Embiid to this insane level and say that, oh, this guy stinks, he's horrible, he's pathetic. I don't want it to come out that way. Without Joel Embiid in this basketball game, this isn't even a basketball game. But I'm just looking more at the big picture when I compare Joel Embiid to some of these other players in the league that, hey, when it's a fourth quarter, when it's 2 minutes left, when their team's either up and need a bucket to put it away, or whether they're down, that player goes out and gets them the bucket that they truly, really need. And I remember more bad plays down the stretch with this Sixers team over the last couple of years than I do really big moments. And that is definitely an issue. And I mentioned Tobias' name, and he makes me rage inside. I don't get it. How can you be this bad? The man hasn't hit a three-point shot yet. That's right. He has not hit a three-point attempt yet. In what world? The guy should be a 40% three-point shooter. If not, 38%, 37%, in that range. And you're telling me in the postseason, when the team that paid you this much money needs you to knock down some shots, you put out these wonky performances consistently? It is pretty ridiculous, and we should have known. We should have known better, because when you see a guy like Tobias Harris, when you see his numbers and you see his stats, and wow, 20 points per game, but he's been on how many teams? He's played in how many organizations? He's a good player, right? By the stats, right? So why is this happening? Whenever there's a player like that, you always question, why is this? And I think you're starting to see why that is right now. He's not good enough. He's not big enough. He's not big enough when it comes to moments, that is. He doesn't want it. This is playoff basketball. And throughout his career, where he's averaged a decent amount of points, he doesn't have much playoff experience. He barely has any playoff experience. Why is that? There's something off with Tobias Harris, and he doesn't have that proper attitude. And I'm not talking about the dog mentality. It's way less than the Mamba mentality or the Jimmy Butler mentality. There's plenty of guys in this league that don't have the Jimmy Butler mentality or the Mamba mentality who succeed. That's like the extreme mentality. There's other levels to it. Tobias isn't even close to the minor level of that. And you got to at least have the minor level to some degree. I can't get over it. What did he finish with? 19 shots it took him to get 15 points. What? Go look at his contract. Go look at how it's broken down. Go look at how much the Sixers are going to owe him. Ew, it's gross to think about. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. This team makes me sick. The fact that while I was watching this, shoulders were shrugged. Wasn't really feeling it. They're going to lose anyway. The fact that that's my mindset watching these Sixers games, it's pathetic. Thank the Lord the Flyers were on too, and I could have paid more attention to that with the 2 TV system. The Sixers, it's so frustrating. It really upsets me that the outcome was inevitable. That's where I'm truly bothered. As it was playing out, I'm replaying all the moments in my head of Sixers basketball throughout their most recent years and seeing horrendous play late, seeing the offense fail, seeing no buckets when buckets are needed to be scored. And the fact that we have a basketball team where you know the results. You already have it calculated out in your head how it's going to play out, and there's a 99% chance that it plays out that way. The fact that that's where we are is truly disappointing. And the problem is we don't know the fix. We don't know how they are going to be able to operate moving forward. This organization's like doomed. It's doomed. Brett's fired. We all know it. Is the team going to show up and fight for him in Game 4 on Sunday? It's hard to sweep a basketball team, right? And on Game 2, they waved the white flag. You saw it. The team Didn't even feel like competing. And that's definitely something you can't forget, and I won't forget, and I will hold it against them for a long period of time. You didn't show up to play a playoff game? Please, explain that to me. Go into detail why you didn't show up to play a postseason game. I would love to know your breakdown mentally on how the hell that even happens. They showed fight, and they hung in there for as long as they possibly could, even though they couldn't make a damn shot. I can't be satisfied with just work ethic in this moment, though. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. This series is over. There's no doubt about it. But give me something. Don't leave this season on such a sour note. Sometimes I would say, hey, maybe that's good. Maybe that fuels the fire. Well, if losing in Game 7 on a quadruple doink doesn't give you enough fire to come out and be way more motivated, then I don't know what will. It definitely won't be getting swept by the Boston Celtics. It shouldn't. I mean, if that's the way it works, then somehow their brains are wired differently, and it's totally the wrong way to be wired, right? I mean, with what happened last season and what happened this year, should this fuel you more? I mean, no, it shouldn't. Losing a Game 7 to Kawhi on the bounce in overtime, that should really piss you off more than this. Go out and win a basketball game. Show some heart. Show us some heart, right? Show us some heart. Show us there's something in there. Show us that there's care there. Although, at this point, we pretty much know there's not enough care. But show me that there's some care. Is that enough to ask? Is that the proper thing to ask? Or do we even want them to win? Do we want to go with the philosophy of, put us out of our misery? We don't want to see you again anyway. We don't want to continue to watch this basketball team anyway. So let's just lose, put us to sleep, and we don't need to think about it again for a long time because there's going to be so many damn moves, hopefully, that happen, and we'll be brainwashed to thinking whatever moves happen next are going to be in play and help out this team for the future in the long run, just like we did entering this season. Is that the way we want to go with it, or do we want to see some fight out of them? I want to see some fight. I don't want to see them roll over and die, even though that's essentially what they did through the first 3 games. There's still one to go. Please just win a basketball game. I'm rooting for them to win the basketball game instead of the alternative, which is get swept. Maybe I'm the outlier. Maybe I'm the only idiot out there that wants them to show something to me. I can't get over Al Horford and Tobias, though. The frustration with those two on another level. How about Shake Milton making some shots late? That foul, though, stupid. He did make some shots late, though. That foul, stupid. And that's pretty much how this team has gone, though, right? Throughout the season, you got stupid mistakes. Stupid fouls, stupid passes, stupid shots. Al Horford at one point, what was he doing in the corner? Late in the fourth quarter, he just jacks up a 3 in the corner? The hell are you doing, dude? That's the shot selection you come up with? You're too smart for that. You're too good of a basketball player for that. Am I giving too much to Al Horford? Am I giving him too much praise for his career to think that he's a smarter basketball player than he is giving us in Philadelphia? The fact that he's pulling up for 3 in that scenario, I couldn't believe it. My jaw dropped. Really? He took that shot? Is this a sick joke? Well, it wasn't, because he did it. It was real. It actually happened. It occurred. And here we are, down 0-3. Support for Sports Talk with Broads is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. There's nothing worse than cutting yourself in the shower while trying to shave and making sure that you look good down below the belt. And you don't have to worry about that with the Lawnmower 3.0 because of the advanced skin-safe technology with the ceramic blade, making sure that there are no issues. Also, the LED lights so you don't miss a spot. You can utilize it in the shower. Don't forget about the 7,000 RPM motor. Quiet stroke technology. If you're listening to me right now, you need to experience this firsthand. You will get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code BROD. It's disappointing. It's a weird feeling because it's, hey, this team stinks. So it's just a weird feeling. Just thinking about what I just sat through the last couple hours watching this basketball game. They were absolutely horrendous when it came to the offensive side. Somehow, some way, Joel Embiid held them in there until the very end, made some bad decisions late. The team tried. You can give them effort points if you want, but I'm sorry. We had way more expectations than that. There's no way that I'm supposed to sit here and go, okay, good job, guys. Thanks for working hard. No. I can't. Even though after game 2 I was so pissed off, I screamed, give me effort. Just give me effort. Well, they did give us effort in this one, but still, no. Look at that shooting percentage. Look at that shooting percentage. You can't be a real NBA team and do that. And the reason why I'm flustered is because look at Tobias, look at Al Horford. And I know long term that this team, they're stuck with them. And that's going to cause major issues for years to come. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.